the boys around here don't listen to the Beatles run. Old Bo Cephas threw a jukebox needle at the honky-tonk where their boots stomp all night. What? Yeah, and what they call work a digging in the dirt. Gotta get it in the ground before the rain come down to get paid, to get the girl in your four-wheel drive. Yeah, the boys round here drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot a back, shoot a back, shoot a back, a spit. Oh, heck. Well, the boys around here, they're keeping it country. Ain't a damn one know how to do the Dougie. No, I'm not in Kentucky, but these girls around here, yep, they still love me. Yeah, the girls around here, they all deserve a whistle. Shaking that sugar sweet as Dixie Crystal. They like that yawling southern drawl and just can't help it 'cause they just keep falling for the boys around here. Drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back, shoot her back, shoot her back, a hit.
Let's ride through the countryside. Let's ride down to the riverside.
Hey now, girl, hop inside. It's me and you gonna take a little ride to the river. Let's ride. That's right. Lay a blanket on the ground. Kissing in the crickets is the only sound. We out of town. Have you ever got down with a do you wanna get down with a girl, you gotta get down with the boys round here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back and shoot her back and shoot her back. I'm one of them boys round here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Shoot her back and shoot her back and shoot her back and spit.
Hello, welcome to the WINGIT call. This is a trust call today, about an hour long, if even that much. Want to welcome everybody here. Let me see. The recording's going. So we're just going to kick it off, and Richard, take it away, and star 2 to raise your hand, and we'll take a few questions. Go ahead, Richard.
Good morning, Jerry. Good morning, everyone. I wanted to come on today because we did have the seminar last week here in Southern California. Richard Ronald, my contact from Dallas, came up, and we had a pretty interesting couple of days. But I'd like to go through a couple of things just before we get into that. One of the things I always like to do is make everybody comfortable with the fact that they've made the right decision on this trust. And one of the things I want to do today is I want to mention the Rosen Law Firm. And because I've had some comments of people who come in, and if you go to the Rosen and Rosen site, you don't see anything in their website about the trust. And that's through design. That's the way they want it. The structure of the Rosen Law Firm is that they are basically litigators. It's my understanding that they litigated the or managed the litigation on the 2 court cases about trust penetration, and they won both of those cases. So the way that they want to handle the trust, and they were the legal representative for the trust for many years. They've been around for 37. Paul has been around. When you go to the website, you only see 3 attorneys. You see Paul, Jennifer, and Jeremy, which are his son and daughter. But when you go to the Frost Bank building in Houston, in Bel Air, you go to the 8th floor, and they have the entire 8th floor, I believe, of the law firm. And the way that they do business is that Paul owns the law firm, but they do business in Texas or down there with associate attorneys. And they don't bring those attorneys onto their website. Their website is simple. It's just about them. But the way that Paul decided to do this thing, as far as the trust is concerned, is to set up another LLC, not a trust, but an LLC, because there's some issues with attorneys and running a business out of a trust. I don't think they can in the state of Texas. There's with a bar. So they set up Masters Copyrights LLC, and basically, for lack of anything else to call it, that's the marketing arm of the trust. It's wholly owned by Paul Rosen, and it is 100% wholly owned by Paul. And both myself and Mr. Richard Ronald, who actually came up here from Dallas for the seminar, have contractual agreements with Masters Copyrights LLC, and that's how I'm talking to you, that you've heard Richard come on before. But I just wanted to let you know that the Rosen Law Firm, this is the way that they've chosen to market the trust, and they are a very substantial law firm, and they are litigators. So, and I understand some people have been, that I've heard, are critical about that, but that's the way they run their business. So that's the way things are. They are a very substantial company, and we are all well represented, because I don't know about you, but if I had a problem with anything in the trust, I would love to have some really nasty litigators to help me. So a couple other things. I just wanted to mention that. A couple other things. I've had some calls about people who have gotten made their deposit on the trust, and in the same situation. I guess we call it the layaway plan that we've got for our clients. And they're frustrated that they haven't been able to open up bank accounts in other banks. And I want to come on and ask everyone, for a lot of different reasons, if you have your full trust, you have no issues with opening a trust account in any bank that you go to. Now, some of the banks are more liberal. It's not that they're liberal, but they will ask for less data than some other banks. Some other banks want to look at your trust documents, and quite frankly, I'm not going to open up a bank account with anyone who wants to examine my trust. Just not going to do it. So they can I'll give them the first page of the trust, and I'll give them the signature pages to make sure that I am who I say I am. But they're not going to analyze my trust. This is a private trust. It's my business. I'm not going to, I'll very gently tell them that, but that's the way that it's going to be. So please, this program was set up knowing what the process was with Wells Fargo. So most people are going to be, I think some people have had some success in opening up trust accounts in other banks, but I think you're going to be more frustrated because banks feel like that they've got some liability, and they want to look, some banks want to see more information than others. But we know what Wells Fargo wants. And Wells Fargo, as long as the banker knows what they're doing, everything that you've gotten from me is all that you need to open up a trust bank account with Wells Fargo. I have people that go in, and I tell them if they're going to go in, and I tell them the process, and I say if you're sitting there and they're doing anything else other than asking you these 4 or 5 questions and filling out a certification of trustee, then they're not doing their job, and just text me 911 bank, and I'll call up and straighten the banker out, tell them what they need to be doing. And it's just about the banker's experience or lack of experience that is that's causing the problems. But I don't think anyone has been, if they've followed instructions, I think everyone has everyone that I've talked to has set up bank accounts with Wells Fargo. That's the lead bank anyway. So just stay away from the other banks until you have your full trust, and then you'll be able to make other decisions. And the banks may look at it or just scan it, but just stay away from other banks. And also, when you're in there, for heaven's sakes, do not discuss currency. Do not discuss foreign currency. You're in there to put $50 US in a bank account, open up a bank account, get your debit card, checking accounts, deposit slips, and be done. That's all. Also, I've had several people that talk to me about insisting that they need to notarize these documents that I send you. And you don't. As a matter of fact, you don't want to notarize them. Excuse me just one second. Sorry. You don't want to notarize these documents. Excuse me just one more. Because what you're doing when you notarize a document, you're bringing it. These are private trusts. Now you will have to notarize deeds, and you'll have to if you quit claim your homes into the trust. You're going to have those notarized, and that's fine. That's a deed. Or a car registration, you're going to have that notarized. That's fine. But anything else, you're bringing it in. Once you have it notarized, you're bringing it into the public arena. And right now, people can't ask you for or compel you to produce your trusts. Can't do it. But if anything is notarized, it brings it into the public arena, and you want to avoid that at all costs. Now, another thing is when you quit claim your residence or a piece of property into the trust, you also don't ever want to record it. It's not necessary to record it. You fill out the quitclaim deed and have it done by a professional so that there's no mistakes. Notarize it, sign it, and tuck it into your trust. It is not required to be recorded, and it's just as valid if it's not recorded as if it is recorded. So the other reason is a practical reason, because we've had some, especially in California, the counties are so desperate for money that they will try to reassess your property if you do it that way. So if for anybody thinking about doing this, do a quitclaim deed, tuck it into your trust, because it is just as valid sitting there as it is recorded or not recorded. So just a thought. Recently, and I'm going to get into the trust seminar in a minute, but I also want to make sure that everyone understands that we're not changing. We'll never ever change the deal. The deal that we made was the deposit and the balance after the RV. But if you have a reason or a concern, there may be something happening in your world that you sell a piece of property, you're taking a stock option, you're doing something. You might want to talk to us, talk to me. We get you on the phone with an accountant, the the trio of Richards is what we'll get you on, and we'll figure out a way to make it to where you can get your full trust. Because I got a call from a lady. I'll leave the name out in the exact situation. She called me in a panic. She had done exactly what most everybody on this call had done. But she says, I just got a call from an investment company, and I own a percentage of a building, and they're selling the building. And my share, my percentage, which was a small percentage, was going to be worth about $250,000. Her capital gains tax was probably going to be about half of that because she'd gone through a couple of 1031 exchanges. So I said, don't panic. So she had the ability to pay for the trust, or she would have the ability. So we got the trust. We got that percentage assigned into her trust, and I think it's already closed. But the $250,000 check was written to the trust, and it is not taxable to the trust. Therefore, there's no capital gains on that event. So she spent the balance of $4,500 to save $150,000. So sometimes there may be events happening that it may be, if you want to talk about it, things that happening, sell of a house, sell of a investment property, taking a stock option, that you might want to do it because you'll save more than enough money by going ahead and getting your full trust if there's a situation that warrants it. Okay. So we get into the trust seminar, and as long as I had met, as long as I'd been working with the law firm and Richard Ronald, my contact with Masters Copyrights LLC, I'd never met him. So, and we talk once or twice a day, and we've done that for several years. So he says he put together a seminar. Will come up. It was not a seminar, although we should have the audio of it on the website probably by tomorrow if things work out, and you'll be able to hear the full day, his talk. It wasn't what most of us are looking for, most of you are looking for. It wasn't hands-on operational. It was more legal. It was overcoming sales objections, because we're going to become more active with the other types of trust that Masters offers. The business trusts, the real estate trust, and the charitable trust. And so Richard came up, and he was absolutely magnificent. He's never met a stranger. He has he could be gruff from time to time, but he was just absolutely wonderful with everyone. And we went through a couple of days. We had one day where we talked to investment advisors, and the next day were just people who had an interest in the trust. We had some doctors. We had real estate people. Other people came. Some other wealth advisors that couldn't come on the afternoon session on Tuesday came on Wednesday, and the Wednesday session is what we're going to have on the website pretty soon. But these trusts are extraordinary, and I thought I knew some stuff about this, maybe a little bit, but I tell you, it was just absolutely mind-blowing, some of the things that these trusts can do. Most everyone out there with their what we'll call a beneficial trust, which is what we have. We're going to call that the beneficial trust. It's a Masters beneficial trust. It can do 99% of everything that anyone wants to do if they are average. They own a home, they own cars, they have assets, maybe they've got some income producing property. And as you know, once you put the income producing property into the trust, the income from that is not income to the trust, and is basically you'll designate that as extraordinary dividends and treat that a different way. It's not taxable. So, however, if you are going to make real estate a business or are going to run a business out of it, then you need to move into a business trust or the real estate trust, and then you're on the business trust. The trust has to distribute the profits each year, and that's different than all the rest of them. You can retain any profits in the other trust, but on the business trust, you have to pass it through, and the way that you do it is pass it through to your beneficial trust. So that's a little different, but if you're going to run a business or run real estate and be serious, and there's reasons to go into each level, and we're going to talk about that at the Dallas meeting when we're going to go through all of this stuff again. We're 99% of the way toward doing a seminar in Spokane, Washington, on the 18th or the 19th. I think we're traveling the 18th or 19th, but it'll be the weekend just before Thanksgiving. We're setting it up. Both Richard Ronald, Richard Howard will go to Spokane, and we're going to be working with a gentleman that came down from Spokane to this seminar, Scott Ron, and we're going to put on a seminar for that Saturday, whatever that is. Maybe it's the 18th or the 19th. But we're going to have a seminar for the whole day up there. It's not going to be hands-on, day-to-day management of the trust. That'll be saved for Dallas. But we are going to have it, and we're going to be meeting with doctors, real estate people, anybody who wants to use these trusts, because if you are marginally profitable now, you can become a lot more profitable, or if you, the trust, putting your business into a trust and operating has extraordinary tax benefits, and everyone has the legal right to choose their operating entity based on the tax advantages. And a real estate trust, business trust, all of these trusts are the ultimate in taxes, tax deferral, and asset protection both. So the executive summaries for all of these are going to be on the website probably tomorrow also. So I would wait till Friday. You'll be able to find these under trust products, and then the audio will be under the trust law and legal, that button. So that's going to be up tomorrow, tomorrow's Thursday, and certainly up by Friday. So you'll have the ability to go in and look at everything then. That was pretty much all that I had, Jerry, to go over. There may be some questions. We'll go over more, but that was basically it.
Well, I actually have a person sent a question to my email, and the question is, because they can't make the call, they're going to listen to the replay. Question: can I send different individuals yearly gifts of $14,000 and under the IRS gift rule direct from my trust? I see this as a great way to assist seniors who are trying to live on $1,000 a month and less.
The answer to that 14, yeah, no, I got it. The answer to the $14,000 is that the $14,000 gifting is from you privately. It is not, a trust doesn't have the same gifting rules. So $14,000 in cash is not is not something that the trust can do. Now, having said that, as far as the gifting is concerned, having said that, I just think that people ought to look at things a little different. If someone needs $14,000, excuse me, they may be on assisting, they may be on some other kind of plan, Social Security, some other type of thing that they're on, that gifting them money may really mess them up. You have to be cautious about that. But you can give people money out of the trust to the extent that it doesn't trigger their minimum filing amount. And I've heard that is between $10,800 up to $14,000. Richard quoted the $14,000 that you can give it, and the $14,000 is what triggers them having to pay taxes. But there's no limit on what you can do on behalf of someone. So if you're going to give them $14,000 and they're going to pay their rent and they're going to pay expenses and they're going to do this and do that, there's no limit, and it doesn't, as long as you do something for them. So as long as the trust pays their rent, pays their expenses for a while, and as long as that check is written to a third party, to the landlord, not to them, then there's no limit to what you can do for a beneficiary of your trust. But it just has to go to a third party. But gifting out of the trust, you can give them money, but the problem is they may have to pay taxes on it. But doing something for someone, there's no limit on that. But you got to do it on their behalf. You can't give it to them because it's going to trigger income, and it may, if you're not planning on doing this for a long time, if you gave them that kind of money, they would have to report it, and it may do something to their Social Security to cut it down. I don't know. You never know about giving people money. So just think about doing things for people and not giving cash to these people, because that's taxable to them.
Okay, well, let's see here. Got a couple people with their hands raised. Clearwater, Florida. Come on down.
Is that me?
Yes, sir.
Outstanding. I was just listening to your explanation. That was sort of the question I had. What is the tax advantages of paying someone's bill who's a beneficiary versus someone who's not a beneficiary? Or is it the same thing if you pay a third party?
You want the best thing to do is to make them a beneficiary for a short period of time, do for them, and then take them out. That form, it's just a simple form. You fill it out. You can do something for them, and you take them out the next day, or take them out a month later, or a week later. But it's just a simple form, and you should document it in your trust, because that's one of the forms that you fill out. You fill it out, you make them a beneficiary, you get it witnessed by a third party, you do what you want to do on their behalf, and then you take them out.
I see. Okay, very good. Now, what if a person didn't do that? What ramifications would it have if it didn't make them a beneficiary?
Well, here's the thing, is that in a lot of us will get to know Richard Stinson or other accountants. We're looking for other accountants around the country that can learn what Mr. Stinson knows. And so I'm throwing that out there. If there's any accountants out there that would like in other parts of the country, I'm talking to one in the Northwest right now that we're interested. He's interested in doing that. But my point is that in 30 some odd years of him doing this, none of his accounts have ever been audited by the IRS. These kinds of trusts just don't do it. If it happened if it ever happened, you'd want a good record. I mean, the likelihood, if it's a private trust and you're not abusive, someone might not ever find out. But it's just like, just make sure you keep good records. That's all.
I got you. Okay, that was my question. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Oh my. Get my lasso out. Rodeo Drive.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
I just want to take
Good.
some time to thank you so very, very much. I haven't done that the last couple of calls, and I just truly, truly want to thank you. And then I have a kind of a question. What if you loan somebody money and then say they're supposed to pay it back, but then they default on it? Then can you write that off, or how would that work?
No, you don't write it off. In a trust, it's not income versus expenses. If you loan someone money and they defaulted, it would be a loss to the trust.
Uh-huh.
And you just report that at tax time. And I don't know how the accountants would treat it, but I just figure they would lose it they would have to make some adjustment to the corpus of the trust because it was lost.
I see. So that wouldn't be a good idea. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Well, it's not a
Have a
bad
good night.
idea. I think it's not a bad idea. It's just a neutral. If you lose it, the corpus of the trust has to be reduced.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Blessed to everybody.
Thank you.
Well, it looks like it's pretty much the end of the call because nobody else has their hands raised. Richard, you've done an outstanding job today.
Let me say one more thing. We had just to give you some perspective on this. We had several doctors at this meeting on the Wednesday meeting, and it really we had a lot of real estate people, but especially doctors. We had 4 doctors. All 4. One of them didn't have a layaway, or 2 of them didn't. But all 4 doctors, when they walked out of there, they were getting their full trust because it makes an instant impact on them. Anybody who's concerned about any litigation needs to have their assets in the trust, especially this type of trust. And every one of them, and my doctor was there, and he said, I want to go forward with this. And he turned around and started walking away, and he turned back around and he said, well, I'm going to save in 1 month the cost of, he's going to have to get a business trust and a beneficial trust. But the cost of it, he said, this is a no-brainer. He says, I'm going to save in 1 month the cost of the trust. And he's right. So I don't know. It's just it really opened some eyes. And we didn't have a huge crowd. We didn't want one. It was about 25 people each day. But I'm telling you, we've all made the right decision with this trust, and I just want to make sure that everyone really understands that.
Cool. Well, nobody else has raised their hands. It's been informative. I think we can probably wrap it up.
That's fine. Easy.
Easy peasy, short call. I like them like that. All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up. The replay, I'll tweet out the replay link, and it will also be in the archives just before I post Friday's call, if we have one. So, or it'll be in the replay links for October. All right. Thank you very much. Everybody have a good day.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
The conference is now completed. Goodbye.